muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse atele umpoda epita muse atele umpoda epita muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse atele umpoda mujane yowe oskofa matewe epita muse atele umpoda
emianum na dofo de radia ye die yentumi nka entina Paradise Singers na say oni embom na yempeja eradi
and then they decided to go home for the lady to introduce the man to the family. When they went home, the family didn't want the young man to marry the lady, but there was a young man who wanted to marry a lady, and then they decided to go home for the lady to introduce the man to the family. When they went home, the family didn't want the young man to marry the lady, but it was late, so they had to sleep, so that the next morning the young man would go back to his town. At midnight, the lady came to the man and told the man that there is a culture in my land. If you bring a woman here and they refuse you from marrying a woman, the next thing is that they kill you. So my people will come after you to kill you. But I love you so much, I don't want to lose you, I want to marry you, and therefore I want to help you to escape. So let's run away. So she took the man, they began running. And they ran. Once they were going, then they realized that the community guys were coming, having realized that this man was running away. So they were after him to what? To kill him. And this lady was running with the guy. They ran. And these people were coming. And then they reached a point, there was a river. How would they cross? And the people were coming. In their frustration, didn't know what to do. Out came a mermaid, Mami Wata. So when Mami Wata came out, Mami Wata was like, River, you can't cross. And today you're going to die. But you have an option. I can let you cross the river on one condition. What is that condition? That you will marry me. Because this man wanted to survive, he had to promise Mami Wata, yes, I will marry you. Immediately he said, I will marry you. He saw himself at the other side of the river. Now he's left the lady at the bank of the river. He's crossed through the help of Mami Wata. He's now at the other side of the river. But he needed to still run because these people could still come after him. So he kept running. kept running, and then he entered a certain village. When he entered the village, there were only women in the village, no man. And that village too, no man enters there. If you enter there, they will kill you. Men don't survive in that village. So what happened was that they caught this guy and told him the rules of the land, that men don't survive here, but if you want to survive, there are 3 questions for you to answer. They put him in prison. Once he was in prison, a certain lady sneaked into the prison and then told this young man that, look, tomorrow they are going to ask you some questions, but I have the answers for you. The only way I can give you the answer is if you promise to marry me. And desperation for life, he agreed. The day came, he went, and they told him the rules of the land. And the rule is that if you are able to answer 2, they will kill you. The only way you can survive is to answer all the 3. But if you're able to answer the 3 also, you'll be given a prize. 1, you marry the queen of the land and become the leader. This man was brought and then ready to kill him if he wouldn't answer or he couldn't answer. They asked the first question, but the woman who came to the prison told him that when they ask you question, look at me. So he had to look around for this woman, and he wasn't seeing the woman. They asked him the first question. Yesterday the queen mother prepared nice meal using a cow. What is the color of the leg of the cow? And he was wondering how to answer such a question. But he looked around, and fortunately he saw the lady who came to prison and saw that she was wearing yellow down. And he said yellow. When he said yellow, he said yes, it's correct. Everybody was clapping. They asked him the second question, what is the color of the stomach of the animal? He looked, it was blue. He responded blue. When he responded blue, he didn't see the lady again. Now they asked, what is the color of the herd? He looked around almost to the point of death. He saw the lady and he said red. He answered, and then he got all correct. So my question to you, which of the women should he marry? Which of the women should he marry? So you see how complex marriage is? You see how complex relationship is? Do you see how difficult it is to settle down for the right person? You think this is just a story, but it's illustrating something to you, telling you that the decision to marry, the decision to become a partner to somebody, the decision to spend your life with others, it involves so much. It involves a lot of encounters. You will meet a lot of people along the way. Some will accept you, some will reject you, some you have to sit down to analyze a lot to be sure whether this is the right person to marry. Again, if we were to ask all of you, or were to give you opportunities to tell us who this gentleman should marry, almost everybody will have different opinions. Is that not it? And everybody can justify their opinions. What it means is that nobody can take a decision for marriage, love, relationship for you. You are the one to decide and take it. Do you get it? Nobody can force. Even in the olden days, they were not forcing men and women to marry. It wasn't under duress. There was a system that was put in place. Amen. Systems were what? Put in place. And today you would think that we can marry loosely. No, we cannot marry loosely. You can fall in love loosely, but if you marry loosely, your life will be loose. You get it? If you just fall with everybody because you feel like this is a nice person, this is a good person, I love this person, hey, you got to be in trouble. Many nurses today are having the worst marriages, especially the ladies. And I will tell you why. If I tell you why, you will never disagree. We are living in a time where our society thinks that nurses are beautiful. Is that not it? Nurses are always cashing out every month. Nurses have opportunities to travel. Nurses are cute. Nurses are, and you know, you guys are cute. You guys are beautiful. You guys have opportunity. In fact, there are even some of you, the reason you want to be a nurse is because not because you love the profession. Some of you too is because you think there is no other opportunity. At least when I finish nursing, I will get a job. That is why you are in the profession. That is why you go to hospitals and many nurses don't have patience. Many nurses talk anyhow. You understand? Because they don't really have the what? The compassion for the people. They have compassion for the cash. You shouldn't be one of them. I say you shouldn't be one of them. Okay, so a lot of guys are marrying nurses not because they love them, but because of the glory around being a nurse. So if you too, you are deceived by I love you, you end up tying your soul where you shouldn't what? Tie it. You end up falling into a relationship you don't have to what? Fall in. Because the pride of your profession cannot decide the sustainability of your marriage. Am I speaking to somebody? That is why you need to come to yourself. That is why seminars like this, you need to always rush to it. You need to always be ready to hear and listen and learn from it. Because we are living in a dangerous time where people take love for granted, where people don't know exactly what love is, and they think that it is a fairy tale, or they think that it is a joke, or they think that it is a game that they must play. They have bad opinion about it, and unfortunately you can be a victim if you are not careful. I will give you time to ask your questions, so if you have questions, please prepare. But I want to tell you certain things about relationship and marriage, and I'm speaking on the topic beyond marriage. Beyond what? Marriage. You see, some of you, especially because you are beautiful, you are handsome, you are flowering, you have, good boobs, right? Very nice one. And some of you wear size 38, but because of slave queenism, you have chosen to buy size 28, and when you put it in, you hip it so that you have some good mounting to reveal. And so when you are walking, you walk like a military man, chest out. And some of you, nature with backlights. You have two wonderful backlights, so when you chest out this way, you go that way. And then this is all. And you're just revealing the lights. And you look so great. And the hair, you've done it so nicely. And these days, when you wear the jeans and stuff, it's able to tie you well. And some of you ladies, the wonderful thing is that you have what they call, is it corset? And you tie the waist, and you are suffering under, but you've tied it, and you've got a good shape. And with that good shape, when you set out, you are the best. And you think that that is what will bring true love. Beauty doesn't bring true love. Manipulating your voice. I'm doing well. How are you, man? Oh, nice meeting you. My dear, it doesn't bring true love. You don't find love there. Some of you, your religiosity, because you're a Christian, you try to position yourself in such a way that will say, yes, you are so good spiritually, and spirituality doesn't bring true love. Hi. Go and ask pastors' wives and pastors what they are going through. Go and ask spiritual people what they are going through. It's difficult to find true love, but they are there. The fact is that you can't manipulate it. You can't what? Manipulate it. And you can't force it to be your, you can't force it. I always say I'm a counselor and I'm a real person, but I always tell people good marriage is by grace. Finding true love is by grace. Are you listening to what I'm saying? The Bible said God is the God of all grace. Because it is by grace, when it comes to your love life, please look to God 100% of the time. Okay? Don't close your eyes and be stupid and say Yamebeye, Yamebeye. No, that's not what I mean. Are you getting the point? But let your trust be in God and learn to listen to the direction and leading of the Lord, and make sure that the voice of God you are hearing is not the voice of your emotions. It's not the voice of your feelings. It's not the voice of your thinking, but it is truly the voice of God. Because there are people, they sort of like, they are in love with, maybe I'm in love with Angela. If you're Angela, yeah, I don't mean you, okay? I'm in love with an Angela. There are Angelas here. Oh, okay. Hello to the Angelas. I love you. Why? They are in love with the, okay, so I'm in love with an Angela. And then because I'm in love with Angela, I always think about Angela. So when I go to sleep, then I begin to dream about Angela. Then I wake up and say, God wants me to marry Angela. God, this one dear Ofriyame, I have to marry Angela. And all you think is that God says, no, it is your feelings that has given you the dream. The way this one. So you got to open your eyes very well, you understand, and trust God and move with intelligence. I have always said that when you want to marry, the first thing you need is love. I repeat, the first thing is what? If you put love away, all the structures of marriage is broken. There are people who are like, no, what you need is commitment. It's a lie. Commitment is a product of love. If commitment is not a product of love, that relationship will become friction. It will become legality. It will become endurance, not enjoyment. Where a person is enduring a relationship, love is absent. Where the person is enjoying the relationship, love is present. Do you get it? So whenever you are enduring a relationship, you should ask yourself, if I enter into marriage, will I enjoy or continue to endure? If you think that you will enjoy, go ahead. If you think that you will endure, you gotta be careful, because marriage is meant to be enjoyed, not to be endured. So you must first make sure that the person you are going to marry, number one, you love the person. That is the first principle. Not that the person loves you. You love the person. Because if you don't love a person and you connect with the person, you can never be satisfied with whatever the person does, because satisfaction comes from the root of love. That is why somebody can never like you or can never be happy with what you do. What you are doing is correct, it is right, it is appropriate, but the person just hates you. He doesn't like it. Are you getting the point? Because the person doesn't love you. You see, by the grace of God, I've been married for 10 years. Yesterday, I went to speak to somebody, and the person has been married for 40 years. I said, hey, and I'm maybe 10 years to no. Now, I'm proud of these 10 years. Not that my wife is the best woman or I'm the best man, but I can affirm that I love my wife. Yes. And that alone makes me to feel at peace. So I'm not enjoying my peace in marriage because of money or whatever, but because I love the woman. Now, the Bible says that husbands, love your wives. The reason the Bible says husband, love your wife is because the principle that brings you peace, number one, is the love in your heart, not the love that is coming to you. Two, the person you are entering that relationship or marriage with, you love the person. Wonderful. Does the person love you? Whenever you meet somebody, listen carefully. First principle, don't examine the person's character. Don't examine the person's faith. Don't examine the person's religiosity. Don't examine the person's money. Don't examine the body shape. Don't examine the car. Don't examine where the person works. Does the person love you? Love is number one. It's number one. Because I love you. But do you love me? If you don't love me, you will kill me. Many of you are living with guys who don't love you. That's why you are going through what you are going through. Sometimes you don't need God to deliver you. You need to deliver yourself. Run away. If you listen, examine the person's love. People are talking down love because, listen, we think that love is emotions. Love is not emotion. Emotion brings you affection. I didn't say examine the person's affection. I say examine the person's love. For God so loved the world that he gave. How do you rejoice in a man who gives you apple but cannot give you love? Why are you happy with a woman who gives you sex but cannot give you love? And don't fool yourself. Sex is not a proof of love. The fact that he is good in bed doesn't mean he is good in life. The fact that she can, how do you call the shaking bottles, the woman, the thing, what is that? How do you call it? How do you call it? Twerk. The fact that she can twerk in bed doesn't mean she can help your destiny. It doesn't mean she can help your destiny. Are you listening? It will help you. Twerking in bed will not help you. Today, The deception is this. You listen to the woman, media me pebema. Hey, they open you. They open you. So, after you want shift my womb, and he shift your womb, the question is, will he go ahead to also shift your destiny? Be careful. Amen. So your love, number one. Two, the person's love. When you are satisfied with love, then you come to character. You come to what? No matter how somebody loves you, if the person hasn't the right character, when you enter with that person, the person will destroy your life. Because he hasn't built the character, and so he doesn't have the capacity to handle another human being. He doesn't have the capacity to be patient. She doesn't have the capacity to respect, to honor. If this thing is not there, don't go into it. All right? Don't go into it. Character. How does he respect other women? Don't talk about how he respects you. How does he respect other women? If he cannot respect other women, you are not different. He will not respect you. He will not value you. Examine his character. How does he treat his mother? How does he treat his sister? Listen to me. When you stop with his former girlfriend, how was he treating the girl? How does he treat her? Some women behave like vultures. You know vultures? I love vultures so much. I wish my symbol is vulture. I really love vulture. They are the best animals, I think, in the world. You will never know a value of something unless you learn about it. Do you know the vulture will not kill any other animal? It's not harmful. But this is what the vulture does. The vulture goes around looking for dead animals to eat. And when the vulture comes to the dead animal, it eats it in three folds. The first vultures come, they eat the inside and everything, they leave. Then there is a second type of vulture that will come and they will break the hide, the body. You understand? The body, so that the meat will, then they will break it. Then the other vultures will also come and pick away the bones. They are Zoom lions. So they always make sure they clean nature, they clean them out. So they are the Zoom lion. That is why I like them. But there are some women who behave like vultures, and they enter into a rotten relationship. Listen carefully. That the man is lying to them. My girlfriend was doing this, or even my wife is like this. Then you enter into it as a savior. You know it happens. You see, when you are entering into a relationship as a lady, let me tell you, the man will always make you look the best, and the one that the worst. It's normal. Man, you will graduate into her position. Look at character. Second, you must also have character yourself. You must have what? I can bet that 90% of you, not all of you, but 90%, the problems you have in your relationship and marriage is because of your bad character. 90%. 90%. You may be part of the 10%. If you are lying to yourself. But the 90%, you know your character. And I'll give you one reason why it's your character. One, which and so you can't marry. Do you agree? Do you agree? Anybody who hates nonsense, you can't marry, because marriage is full of what? Nonsense. You can't take it. For example, you are a man, you come home and your wife brazier is lying just anywhere. That is nonsense. If you can't handle it, there will be a problem in that marriage. Your husband, 7 days, he hasn't bathed. We see, and then he's coming closer. You see, when you hate nonsense, you can't take nonsense. So you see, you begin to go like, me, I can't take it. Many of you are always tired. Me, I'm tired. For how long? How long will I bear with you? Every day, you must. How long? Who told you it to be short? Who told you? It is pressure. So you must learn to take what? Nonsense. The reason you must learn to take nonsense is that marriage is between cassava and plantain. Marriage is between what? And plantain. When you put the cassava and plantain together, you get what we call fufu, and you can add your soup and enjoy your fufu, isn't it? But do you know that the plantain grows up and never sees the ground, but the cassava grows down, never sees the air? So your background and experience is different from your partner's background and experience. The cassava is dirty, the plantain is not dirty. The fact that you are neat doesn't mean your partner will be neat. Learn to know that. It's not going to be so. Some of you, the reason you are neat is not because you are intelligent, it's because you are melancholist. Your temperament type. So you hate dirt naturally. There are people, if you visit them, when you go, they will sweep. You are always sweeping. But if you are sanguine, for example, if you have not laid your bed, you don't know, you don't even care. You are sanguine. So maybe you marry a sanguine man or a sanguine woman, and this woman is careless, and you say, learn to tolerate, learn to understand. If you don't do that, you can't marry. Some of you are with boyfriends and girlfriends. Oh, pardon? Some of you are with boyfriends and girlfriends who are choleric. Let me say, if you are with a boyfriend who is a choleric, he is always bossy. He always wants you to do what he wants. He doesn't appreciate. He finds it difficult to let you know you are perfect. Don't misunderstand it to be hatred or not love. No. If you meet a sanguine like me, the kind of love he will show, the kind of rapping, me, I can rap. You ask my wife. I will write you a poem, I will write you a poem. You will always be joyful. When I'm talking about character, I don't mean that accept every wrong character in the name of his temperament and so what. That is not what I mean. What I mean is that position yourself to know that even if you marry an angel, there will be a problem. Today, the Aminoa, so the Angela, and I'm about angel. Yamebe Shirawa warrior or yes to be. The Lord will give you a good marriage in Jesus' name. Are you getting what I'm saying? You need to learn that. If not so, you will always be running to your mother and always be running to your father. There is no day, no single day that my wife has ever called the mother or father and said, I'm complaining about my marriage. Never. And it will never happen. Is it because I'm a good man? No. It is because my wife knows how to tolerate my nonsense. What you cannot handle about me, she can handle it. You see, when we say this, I'm just revealing some level of secret. But it doesn't mean you should submit to what will kill you. That is also another thing. Because there are some relationships, if you are not careful, it will what? It will kill you. So, love, character. Now, the last one was about some point I may talk about. We've talked about all these things, but I want you to build the right character. Do you understand? So let's get serious so that I can close. Number one, relationship is RELATIONSHIP. The first word, reality. It is what? Reality. Know that life doesn't respond to your fantasy. We get into business now. Life doesn't respond to your what? Fantasy. Love is not all rosy and cozy. When you enter into a loving relationship or marriage, it's not going to be all rosy and what? Cozy. It's not going to be let's go to KFC. Every day you are at KFC. It's not going to be beach. It's not going to be. No, some of you ladies have the thought that I'm going to marry and be in my car and I'm a child servant. No fantasy. Today, when you meet a guy, you are happy the guy is always taking you out. Oh, he's caring. Today we are here. And some of you, that is all you are doing. You think life is about outing. You think so. If I were you, once you are in this school, you will never go out. Because there is more sleep after death. Is that not it? There is more sleep after what? After death. And you have only few months to pass. And these few months, you use it for fantasy. Life is not about what? Fantasies. It's about reality. The life out there is war. Prepare yourself now. Listen, the people who are struggling in marriage, they didn't do anything wrong. Many of them, okay, life just took them that dimension. And unfortunately, they were not prepared for it. You may think because, there are some ladies, they are like, me, I'm not born here, and here. I won't. You think that the person who gave birth here, planned it? No, she also said she won't born here. Some of them were even proper virgins. Some of them were prayerful. And yet, at the end of the day, they entered into the kind of relationship that what gave them bad experience. And so the reality is that maybe you have a bad experience. So you must be prepared in your mind that life can throw you anything. But whatever life throws at me, I'm going to handle it. And because of that, prepare yourself now. So that no matter what life throws at you, when you become independent, you can handle your life. My father was very rich. Unfortunately, he died when I was only 2 years old. During his time, my mom had a lot of money, a lot of opportunities. A lot. My dad had his hotel at Liberia. Ghanaians would come, they would come to him, he would have money. Then my father died, and then the Liberia war came, and we were in the war. My mom had to do everything for us to what? To survive. Eventually, she brought us to Ghana. When she brought us to Ghana, she did everything to help. Her children, they couldn't go to school much. I was the only one, by the grace of God. She said that no, she's going to make sure I don't lose my education. At least one of them must be rescued. So I was the fortunate one that she decided that no matter what, she will make sure I go to school. Eventually, I completed school. My mom has gone through a lot of challenges. But I began to imagine that when my father had the opportunity, he gave my mom the right place to sleep, right? He gave my mom maybe jobs and money. Money was available, so. But if my mom had education, if my mom had that privilege that you have, maybe she would not have struggled the way she did. Are you getting the point? When your parents send you to school, or even as you are here, the purpose is not for you to go and marry. Don't turn your nursing profession into, I want to marry, I want to fall in love. It is for your own good, because even when you are married, maybe your spouse dies. Life comes into your own hand. Is that not it? How are you going to turn it around? How are you going to turn it around? So that is why at this moment you have to start what? Thinking. You have to start thinking. In fact, when I met my wife, she was only an SS graduate. And I said, I want to marry you. And the father said she's about to further education. I said, don't worry. Let me marry her. I will further her education. We married all right. Just after SS, I married her. After marrying her, we gave her firstborn, secondborn. We had a stop. I said, go to school. She went to school, completed a diploma. Proceed. She went to school. She has completed her degree. She had a graduation just last 2 weeks. And I always tell her, my dear, I would rather develop you, listen, than build a house. The reason is that if my wife is developed, even when I'm dead, she can take care of my children. The house cannot. The house cannot. Money in the bank will be useless. The money will come back to her. She will waste it because she's not educated. Do you get it? That is me, my thought. Maybe the man you meet doesn't think that way. So why not plan your future now? And stop this unnecessary outing, unnecessary fantasy. I'm in love. I am in love. Be in love. Be in love. My dear, this is the time. And the man, listen to me. I learned early in life that a man must break a wall, bring the food for a woman to chop. So if today you don't break the wall, and they use the abortos and heavy weight to pushy you, one day you'll be frustrated. You'll be frustrated. Listen, life is relative. I can't go through all the process. I will leave it where I am. Life is what? It's relative. You must be disciplined. You must be what? Some of you are not disciplined. No discipline. Look at the time you wake up. Even in school, your leaders had to chase you for you to wake up. Going to sit down to learn, you will not do it. Even your homework, you don't do it. But you have the right to take a cane to beat your class 3 daughter because she didn't do her homework. Did you do yours? Have you been doing yours? When we say a disciplined person, it's not somebody who shouts on somebody. It is somebody who controls himself. Have you learned to control yourself? In this world, if you are not disciplined, you can't go anywhere. Because the most dangerous thing that the world will give you is freedom. I say what? The most dangerous thing the world will give you is what? Freedom. In those days, we didn't have our freedom. So we're doing what they told us to what? To do. Today we have our freedom. So nobody tells you to wake up. Nobody tells you to sleep. Nobody tells you to learn. Nobody tells you to shut up. You have the freedom to or not to do. And that is the downfall of many people. So you have to be careful. Let me tell you something. Rich people, do you see the rich, their children also get rich? And the poor, their children get poor. Do you know why? The rich people, their children don't have freedom. Ask them. Because rich people, they suffer to make the money. And they know that their children will inherit the money. So when their children are growing up, they are more concerned about how will this child handle my money. So they begin to train the child from childhood on how to handle their property. Na here for their mommy nibi, papa nibi. What is he protecting you for? So poor parents, they give their children more freedom than rich parents what give their children because of poverty. That's why poverty is dangerous. So at this age we have our freedom. Is that not it? You have to be disciplined so that you can manage this freedom that you have been what? Giving. God bless you. Now we'll give room for questions. Maybe we can take just few questions then.
Thank you.
I love the way she asked the question. You know, she said, does it mean we shouldn't be concerned at all about how a person is in bed? There's a way to be good in bed and good in sex. I'm using the term carefully. It's very important. It's very important. But you see, the truth is that nobody goes to school to learn how to have good sex. The only way we can have good sex is to be teachable. I'm using the word what? Teachable means that it is different from this lady's body and this lady's body. It is different from this person's response to love and my response to love. Are you getting the point? It is even different from how people react during sex. So the partner you are with, okay, it is not about the person is already good. It's about the person's readiness to learn and your readiness to also what? Learn. How both of you, your sex life would what? Would click. There are some women, no matter what, they will never get orgasm. There are some women, within few whatever, they get the orgasm. So you listen to another woman say, hey, my husband gives me orgasm, so I enjoy blah blah blah. Then another woman sitting and say, I don't really get it that way. Then my husband is not good in bed. No, you haven't studied yourself. Do you get it? So don't throw it away. That everybody must be what? Teacher. Maybe at the right time, I may come back and then we'll talk deep about sex. I teach about sex and I've written book on sex. Yes, the title is Bedmatics. Bed mathematics. I've written a book on it. So it's very important. And you see, the first thing I'll give you regarding sex is that if you are married, or when you're married, is that always be open to sex. Break the myths around sex. Stop behaving as if sex is dirty. In fact, sex is the sweetest thing on earth, apart from Jesus. In fact, the Christopher say when you are married. In fact, even when you are not married, it is sweet. It is sweet. I didn't say fornication is sweet. I said sex is sweet. Sometimes people think that sex means fornication or sex means adult. No, sex means sex. It is God who created sex. And sex is the highest form of worship. The highest. The only way you can have proper connection is through what? Sex. Because, listen, the only thing that brings human being on earth is what? Sex. Why do we demonize sex? Good, sex is beautiful, sex is wonderful, sex is amazing. And you see, when you have sex, you have certain advantages. One, your body becomes smooth and better. Two, you are able to overcome certain sicknesses. Three,
muse ate yompoda mujani yompoe askofa minte mwe yompolapa epicha muse ate yompoda yompo komati askofa minte mwe
There was a young man who wanted to marry a lady, and then they decided to go home for the lady to introduce the man